numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't covering my cloth, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up to sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing the visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Best Bet for UFC Kansas City. We have Ian Machado Garry going against Carlos Proches, and we have a 14-fight card. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's a fun card. Got some fun fights, hoping for some violence tonight. I am here with Johnny K Picks. What is up, Johnny? Are you looking forward to UFC Kansas City?
Yeah, man, especially after a break. This card is fantastic for a fight night. I wish I would have went, but unfortunately, Kansas City is just a little too far for me to drive, and I don't feel like flying either. So, but I am looking forward to a lot of these fights. There's a few stinkers in here, obviously, but most of them are going to be fun at least. So I am very excited, actually.
Yep, definitely looking forward to. We talked about a little bit before the show. Have a decent amount of action this week, and I think it's a kind of a good thing because I was looking ahead to next week. Kind of taped half the card already. It's kind of brutal. Just a brutal card. I feel bad to whoever's buying tickets and actually going to that fight in Des Moines, Iowa. I mean, it's absolutely a brutal card. But yeah.
I was gonna say it's like the same thing with me. Like it's like a little too far away for me to drive, but I'm not flying there either, and I'm definitely not going to that card because it's not that great for a fight night. It's completely different for this one.
Yeah, this card I wouldn't mind going to, especially with like 14 fights. But
yeah,
can't wait to break it all down with you, Johnny, in the chat. See what we can come up with for this card. Before we get into, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel. We go live every Saturday for some best bet. Always on time, never late. You guys know the drill. Try to be professional up over here. We got Carrillo, first one in the building. Good to see you, Carrillo. We got Elijah one. Good to see you as well. Always in here. Eric the Red, what's up, Brady? Kind of stoked for this card. Good luck, everyone. I'm stoked for this card as well. Looking forward to some fun fights tonight. We got Nick in the chat. We got George. No, I wasn't late. Come on, I was right on time. We got Steiny. We got Joshua. We got Brian. Brian, come on. Come on.
I'm the late one, guys. If you go to I'm like 5 minutes late every time I do my live show.
Dang, and I'm on time and I get called late. Like I sometimes I even start early. And
I think everybody knows that I'm late. So if I'm like 6:05, you're like, oh, you're early. Cool.
Jeez. We got Steven. Pegging of the week should be a new segment. I don't know about that one, Steven. I do not know about that one. But you can have your own pegging of the week. You can do that on your own time. But on my channel, I don't think that's going to fly. We got Jerry in the building. Good to see you, Jerry. McD. We got Klaus saying Johnny is an underrated guest. I would absolutely tend to agree. We got Ucelis. What is up? What is up? Matt, straight to hell. Schnell. Oh, boy, that's not very nice. We got North Star. We got George. Good to see you. Probably late because he ran into and made a citizen's arrest of Kerry Hadley. I've not done that yet, but I need to do that.
If you ever see him, get him.
Yes, still love you, but yeah, I'll try to be a little bit more professional and on time next time. The milking and pegging of the week. I don't think so. We got Morgan who's in the building. We got Tiny C or 6x9. All right, guys. I say we get into it. We have a lot to talk about. 14 fights on the card, which means me and Johnny will each get 4 passes. So yeah, I say we get into it. We're gonna start with the first fight of the card. It is Jocelyn Edwards going against Chelsea Chandler. We got Jocelyn Edwards sitting at minus 270 and Chelsea Chandler sitting at plus 230. And I have a feeling about kind of what we're both going to do here. But for me, I'm going to kick us off. I'm going to use up one of my first 4 passes. I think that's absolutely the most responsible thing to do because there's just nothing sticking out. I mean, I don't want to go out there and lay minus 270 on Jocelyn Edwards, although I think she wins. And I also don't want to lay like her decision prop, which her decision prop is best price, like minus 160, minus 150 either. I think that's the most likely scenario. So I will be passing, But yeah, I think Jocelyn Edwards should go out there and, get the job done. But yeah, just nothing sticking out from a betting perspective. Johnny, I'm assuming you're passing as well, but maybe you'll surprise me here.
Yeah, if this was the NFL draft and I was drafting one of these ladies, maybe I would go for Chandler because she can run a 4.2960. But other than that, no, you got to pass on this one for the show anyways, because, I mean, there's just nothing. I think Edwards wins this fight pretty easily, but there's just nothing. I don't think she gets a finish. She probably gets a decision. Yeah, and I just can't for the show. I can't do anything on this one. So definitely pass for sure.
Yep. I think passing is definitely ideal. Guys, what is the best bet on the card, value bet or whatever? We'll talk some best bet. Just not on the Jocelyn Edwards fight. Just not on the Jocelyn Edwards fight. Gussie saying big pass here. Big B saying, what are you talking about? The Iowa card is sweet. I guess we got somebody from Iowa in the chat. Shout out to Big B. Didn't mean to offend you. The card next week sucks though.
It's not great. It's not great.
I mean, I just did not really enjoy, taping, Viana Santos and some of the fights next. I mean, I guess
did you bring out your old Jeremy Stevens tape?
Yeah, Jeremy Stevens is on the card. That's cool, I guess, but he's like almost 40. We got Azamat Bakayev, Kwang Bang Lee. That guy's good. We got heavyweight star Dontel Mays. That guy is always exciting.
D1 Dontel Mays.
D1 Dontel Mays. Oh, we got Ivana Petrovic versus Juliana Killer Miller. That's a.
Is that going to start the night off? I hope so.
That might start the night off for us. You got some. I guess maybe this guy's
some
on
bangers.
He's onto something. We got two 40-year-olds going at it. Daniel Rodriguez, Santiago Ponzinibbio. That should be fun.
Loser gets cut. Love it.
Yeah, it's yeah. Should be a good one, and enjoy it. Chandler by milking. Oh my god. Fight to end by split plus 300. Yeah, potentially, dude. Like I think this fight's going to decision. It's probably going to come into the hands of the crooked blind corrupt judges.
You can also maybe look at the Chandler plus 3.5 if it's like minus 130 or something. It's not
high out.
Yeah, there you go.
But that would mean you'd have to put money on this fight. It would be the only thing.
That's the thing. If you're looking for something, though.
We got Buster Cherry in the building. Shout out Buster Cherry. You're late. All good. All right. Let's move on to this next fight. It is Roberto Romero going against Timmy Quamba. We got Roberto Romero minus 115. Timmy Quamba sitting at minus 105. And yeah, I have a play here. I think it's a close fight. I think a pick'em, makes a lot of sense to me because, on one hand, you have Timmy Quamba, who I think is probably the more skilled fighter. I think he's a skilled dude. I like the striking, underrated power. He's been in the UFC already. Romero's making his debut. But the problem with Quamba is he just doesn't have any urgency in there. He's extremely low volume, kind of hard to watch at times. And on the flip side, you have Romero, who's just the complete opposite. Where he lacks the skill, he kind of makes up for it with just the nonstop pressure, the aggressiveness, the volume, the willingness to go out there and fight and do a lot of things in there. So I think it might come down to just, the volume of Romero. I think this fight probably goes the distance. I think both guys are very durable. I think this fight goes the distance at a pretty high clip. The line does indicate so. But I'm going to go with Romero by decision plus 270. I think that's his most likely path. Just based off of activity, just based off of the volume, just doing a little bit more. But yeah, close fight. But I like that Romero by decision at plus 270. Johnny, what are you doing for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm also on the Romero side, but I'm just going to use my pass again. I think this is a coin flip fight, and I really don't know what to attack at all on this one. Like whether it's a money line, because you could probably do either or. I could see Quamba winning like a decision. I do think this fight does go to decision. I could see Romero win a decision, or there could be some funny business going on too. So you never know. But yeah, two younger guys that are have a couple fights under their belts in UFC. But going with Romero as a pick, but for the show, I'm just going to pass on this one.
All right, Johnny using up his second pass. He has 2 left. I have 3 passes left. I'm taking Romero to win by decision there. All right. What do you guys liking in the chat for this one? The return of Jared Vandera win. I'm not sure, but
I hope he comes
was
back.
he the one that actually cut down to light heavyweight? Or am I
think
thinking
so?
Was that him? Okay, maybe we'll
Think
see
so.
the return of Jared Vandera in the very near future. Would love to see it. We got Rem Dog saying, "Sup guys? Did you see Amarim make the milking symbol at weigh-in? I saw her make some symbol. Was that the milking symbol? It could be, dude. It could be." We got Hot Boy saying, "Let's go, let's get it." I love Jocelyn Edwards. She is my favorite. We got a Jocelyn Edwards fan in the chat. I didn't know anybody was a fan of Jocelyn Edwards, but we found one. So yeah, shout out to Klaus. Hopefully your girl goes out there and gets it done.
She's gonna get it done, Klaus.
Yes, she's gonna get it done, and she's gonna get it done for Klaus. Alexander saying Romero fought Onama. He did, and he performed well up until he kind of slowed down. But yeah, knocked him down, almost finished him. It was a good look, even in a loss.
Yep.
The line movement's kind of scary. Yeah, the line movement was kind of weird. So Romero actually went to plus money late last night. He went all the way to plus 105. That was like yesterday evening, last night, and now it's back to a pick'em. So yeah, interesting line movement. We got Uncle Weezy in the building. What is up, Uncle Weezy? Let's rinse these bookies. Let's pipe them on site, and let's milk them for everything they have. Let's get it. Haven't seen Johnny lately. Where you been? He's been around
every week on my show. Every week. Yeah. But I haven't been on here maybe like a month or so, but
nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I'm around. Check me out, Johnny K Picks.
Got my coworker to call out Lou Sassoli. Good stuff. Yeah, shout out to Lou Sassoli. Lou Sassoli is a great Twitter follow. Actually, he's not. He's a terrible Twitter follow, but I follow him anyway. If you want to see dicks and balls, go follow our guy Lou Sassoli. Shout out to Lou Sassoli. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Jacqueline Amarim going against Polyana Viana. We got Jacqueline Amarim minus 800, Polyana Viana sitting at plus 550. We'll kick it to you on this one, Johnny. Are you using up your third pass, or did you find something you like in the strawweight fight?
Yeah, I can't use my third pass in a row. That's just weird. But I did find one thing I like. I think Amarim wins this fight. I just think she's the better fighter overall, better grappler, stronger as well. Polyana is an OnlyFans girl. Maybe this is going to be her last fight. Maybe she gets a paycheck. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to go with Amarim to win, and I like her to win in round one at plus 110, or if you could find it somewhere better, that's on FanDuel. She's got 7 wins in the first round, 7 subs, and 1 KO win in the first round too. I think she doesn't mess around. I think she gets this fight to the mat, which Polyana doesn't have the greatest takedown defense. And then when she gets on top, I just think she's going to be too much. I think she's going to be able to find maybe like an arm bar, maybe an arm choke, or maybe a ground and pound knockout too. That's why I'm not doing a first round sub. I rather just do just wins in the first round just in case, because like I said, I think she's going to be a little bit bigger, a little stronger. And if she gets a mount, I think she might rain down the fist and get the job done. So give me Amarim to win in round one. I see that at plus 110 on FanDuel.
Yeah, it's plus 140. 45 on Hard Rock. So
I will take that.
Round one plus 145. Okay, so yeah, for me, there's 2 spots. I could be a pussy and go with I think the fight won't start round 3 at minus 165 is like a really good parlay piece.
It is.
I threw that in a parlay just because it gives Jacqueline 10 minutes, 10 minutes to take this bitch down and finish her. But there's also a prop that kind of sticks out, and it is the Jacqueline Amarim by knockout prop, because submission's definitely most likely, but Polyana Viana, she is a black belt for what it's worth, and I could just see Amarim getting on top, getting into mount and kind of just pounding away until the ref steps in, like she did against Montserrat Ruiz, right? So I think like a positional TKO, it could be in play, and it's plus 650 for that KO prop. So I think I'll go with that, the KO prop. But again, I think if you're looking for a solid parlay piece this week, I think the fight won't start round 3 at minus 165 is a pretty solid parlay piece. So Amarim by KO at plus 650. We saw Jillian Robertson do it. I mean, Jillian Robertson is not really TKOing anybody. I think we could see Jacqueline potentially do it as well. So yeah, the KO plus 650. Kind of call my name for a value bet there. All right. What do you guys like in this fight here? The books learned their lesson after the Barbosa milking. I mean, how often, Johnny, do we see a strawweight fight where the under 1.5 is a minus number. We don't see that.
Never.
Not even in Liang Na fight. Like in the Liang Na JJ Aldrich fight, the Liang Na Petrovic fight, I think the under 1.5 was like plus money. So we just never see a strawweight fight with violence props this chalky. I mean, the fight doesn't go anywhere from minus 325 to minus 400. Amarim inside the distance minus 350. So yeah, they are definitely onto this one. If this fight goes the distance, I think a lot of people are probably going to get rinsed because just nobody's expecting it. Let's see. We got Habo. What is up? Good to see you. Pollyanna is very good at getting mounted. Yeah, she is. We've seen, what's her face? Lucinda mount her. We saw Robertson mount her. Amarim KO1 plus 1,600, KO2 plus 1,800. Very, very big.
I like that.
Yeah, I even saw round 2 KO plus 2,400. I think it was either on FanDuel or Bet Rivers. Chandler most takedowns plus 300. And that's not bad because I kind of think she's going to have to wrestle there. Amarim to take the strap on and peg Viana for the first official pegging of the week. All right, let's get this comment off the screen. And let's move on to the next fight. We got Malcolm Wellmaker going against Cameron Simon. We got Wellmaker minus 120. Cameron Simon is plus 100. And yeah, another closely lined fight here, Johnny. I think this is another fight where you can make a pretty good case for both sides. But like Simon, this is a guy that, he's been here, he's done that, he's fought the much better competition overall, and it's really not even close. He has some UFC wins. He's already made that UFC debut. He has good volume. If there's grappling to be had in this fight, it's probably on the Simon side. But with Wellmaker, you have a guy just with a lot of power, a guy that's very precise. And Cameron Simon's a dude that's very hittable. And to be honest, I was looking through the wins of Cameron Simon. It's like I'm just not sure where this guy's at. Because
not great.
He's losing to good guys. He's losing to Christian Rodriguez and Peyton Talbot, but he's beating, Mana Martinez, probably his best win, who, Mana's been cut and, didn't have a ton of success in the UFC, Terrence Mitchell. And that win's so bad, it probably should count as a loss. If you're fighting Terrence Mitchell, you probably should have a loss on your record. That's how bad Terrence Mitchell is.
Rosas Jr. was able to KO him in round one. Don't forget. Round one.
Yeah, Terrence Mitchell, probably the second worst fighter to enter the UFC, right behind Yuzong Hu. Yuzong Hu, absolutely the worst fighter, but second, probably Terrence Mitchell. So I'm just not sure where Simon's at. And now he's taken on another guy that is not Terrence Mitchell, that is not Mana Martinez, that is not Stephen Kozlow especially. So for me, like I said, you can make strong cases for both sides, but I'm on the Wellmaker side, and I'm going to take Wellmaker by knockout, because I think if this fight goes the distance, Simon probably wins just based off of being more active, the volume, potential grappling. But I think if Wellmaker wins, it probably means he was able to knock out Simon or hit him very hard in the face, because he is very hittable. So I'm taking Wellmaker by knockout, and it is sitting at plus 350 there. And I kind of think it's his money line. Like I could see Wellmaker win a decision, but I think it had to be more so, having some big moments, some knockdowns. But I think that knockout prop for Wellmaker is very live this week. Johnny, what are you doing for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm also on the Wellmaker side. I wasn't like super confident earlier in the week, but as the week went on, I got a little bit more confident. Like you said, Cameron's striking defense isn't great. And when he pushes forward, he leaves himself open to counters all day. And Wellmaker has very good counters, and he has the power to knock out anybody too. I think Cameron's going to have to grapple, but Wellmaker's takedown defense is actually pretty good too. So it's an interesting fight. But I do like Wellmaker to win. I'm gonna go. I was looking at the KO prop, but I'm gonna be a little bit safer. I'm gonna go Wellmaker by KO or decision. I believe that's plus 100 on FanDuel, but if you find it anywhere better than that, I will take it just in case. I think he can get a knockdown. I'm just not 100. It depends on who the ref is. Now, if Jason Herzog's in there, he's got that over. He ain't stopping nothing. So we'll see what happens. But just to be a little bit safe, I can get a little bit of plus money. So I'll take Wellmaker by KO or decision.
I should have worn my Team Herzog shirt for the show today. I'm Team Herzog. I bought the shirt after he stopped the Gilton Almeida Sergey Spivak fight won a lot of money in that fight because he stopped in the first round. And I
What
bought
was
a
that, the
Herzog.
under?
Yeah, I had the KO, I had the under, I had Almeida inside, I had like everything in that fight, and Herzog stopped it. I went and bought the Team Herzog shirt. I haven't put it on yet. I haven't
You
put the
should.
shirt on.
What are you
Every time I
waiting for?
go to put it on, and my wife's wearing it. My wife must be a big Jason Herzog fan. It's like, stop wearing my shit. Stop wearing my shit. Why are you wearing my shit? But maybe I'll have to put it on tonight if he has a good performance. If he's not letting people die, I might put on my Jason Herzog shirt tonight.
What was the fight that he let? It was recently that he let the guy get knocked down like 3 or 4 times in the first round. He's like, nah. Oh, it was the Romanian guy.
Yeah, Reese McKee.
Yes,
I know you're talking
that's
about.
it.
Reese McKee dropped him 10
Clearly
times.
had the over.
The doctor had to step in and save him. I mean, it's ridiculous, but we'll see. We'll see.
It was wild, dude.
Wellmaker KO.
Mm.
Only fight I disagree with you, Brady, is Abus. We'll talk about that one, man. Simon cannot afford to lose. Yeah, he's on I believe, 2 fights good. 2 fights good. Simon got to channel his inner African spirit like Drikas for this one. And yeah, Simon needs to get back on track, but this isn't easy. It's not an easy fight, so we'll see. Simon is trash. He's bad at striking, wrestling, and grappling. I wouldn't agree with that, man.
Striking defense, yes.
Yeah, striking defense, but I think his striking
Gets
solid.
hit
I like
too
the
much.
volume. I like the variety. Not a
He's
ton
not
of
bad.
power.
He's
but
24 too. Let's not forget. He's only 24 years old. Like, I know he's already fought like 4 or 5 times in the UFC, but he's 24.
Yeah, he still has room to improve. Work with Drikas. So yeah, I think Simon he'll be all right. Win or lose here, I think he'll be all right.
If he was like 32, then you're seeing where he's gonna be and who he is. He's still got time.
100%. Wellmaker KO. Simon, he does have good eye pokes. Shannon Ross or Terrence Mitchell. I would definitely take Shannon Ross there. I think Shannon Ross is actually skilled. He just doesn't have a chin. Whereas with Terrence Mitchell, I think he's both, not that skilled and doesn't have a chin at all. So I would lean Shannon Ross there. But maybe we could see like a double KO in that one. Wellmaker KO. Steven brought it up as well, Johnny. If Herzog is the ref,
Exactly. So that's the thing. That's why I'm being a little safe. You never know.
Fight doesn't go plus 115 for Jeff there. Herzog is becoming the modern murderer. Yeah, it's been bad. Herzog is about to tweet at you, Brady. I mean, he's done it twice before. What would a third time do? He's done it twice, and it's called getting Herzog, John. I don't know if you've ever been Herzog. It's not fun.
I haven't.
That's why I don't.
I do talk bad about him a lot. I just don't tag him. Maybe I should tag him, and maybe
I don't even. You don't have to tag him. You have to say Jason Herzog. Say Jason Herzog, blah blah blah, and he'll look his name up on Twitter after the fights, and then he'll quote retweet your tweet, and then he'll Herzog you. He'll say like, "Oh, you lost money. Oh, sorry about your bet." Completely accepting like any what do you call it? Like responsibility for a terrible stoppage, and it's called getting Herzog. It's happened to me twice.
I know that. So then I need to put Jason Herzog. That's the problem. I always put just his last name.
Yeah, you got to put Jason Herzog. I don't say his name on Twitter anymore. I don't want to get Herzog. It's not fun. It's not a fun experience.
Well, you know what? If he deserves it, then I'm gonna do it. So
all right,
I've done it a few times where the one last time was when he didn't stop the fight after 4 knockdowns. So it's like, come on, dude. What are we doing here?
All right, hey, don't say I didn't warn you, Johnny. You might get Herzogged.
I will laugh personally, and I'm okay with that. I like to laugh.
Hey, there you go. This is not WrestleMania replay.
What's up, Steve?
Eiffel Tower update. The wife is almost ready. Thanks for the tip on telling her the card starts an hour earlier. Heck yeah, get there nice and early. Nothing wrong with getting to the fights early.
No, get there early. Have a few beers.
Yeah, get to your seats. Watch some Jocelyn Edwards. You don't want to miss that one. If I was in a hospital and my nurse was wearing a team, I knew I was about to die.
That would be great. I would laugh so hard. Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Well, my wife is a nurse, and I'll let her know not to wear that shirt to work, because that would
people will know. People will know what that means.
She might get fired. Nurses are supposed to help people, right? They're supposed to help people. Oh God. Let's move on to the next fight. we have Damon Blackshere going against Alatang Hey Lee. We got Damon Blackshere sitting at minus 600. We got Alatang Hey Lee sitting as a plus 450 underdog here. And yeah, I like, it's no hot take, right? Like I like Blackshere to win this fight. He's a big favorite, but I look at this match and it's like, how does Alatang Hey Lee win this fight? It's probably it's probably gonna be like a knockout, like a flukish type knock. I know he has some power, but he's not really finishing anybody in the UFC outside of Kevin Kroom, and he's just very low volume on the feet. And then I just have a feeling like if Damon Blackshere gets this fight down to the ground, he's just going to have an astronomical advantage. So I like Blackshere here. Probably, I think submission is very live. The submission prop though is like plus, what is it? Plus 125, plus 150. But the inside the distance is not much. Where it's like plus 130, just in case he covers a potential TKO. But yeah, I like Blackshere. I'll take him to win inside the distance. I think at some point this fight gets to the ground and Blackshere gets him out of there, whether it's a sub or TKO. So Blackshere inside the distance for me. Another guy that I think is, although the line is wide, I think he's probably a solid parlay piece. I just struggle to see where he loses this fight. Johnny, what are you doing for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm all over Blackshere. I think the last time I was actually on the show, I think Blackshere fought, and I think I hit his play that I did, which was Blackshere by sub in rounds 2 or 3, and I'm going to go exactly the same thing. He's got like 5 or 6 subs in round 2. I think he can. I think Alatang can survive a little bit, but once round 2 hits, I think Blackshere is going to be able to get that sub. I don't see it. I mean, maybe he can get a ground and pound knockout. I don't think he's going to get the KO on the feet or anything like that. He's going to have a big height and reach advantage too, which I do like in this fight for him. Alatang hasn't fought anybody like this for grappling in the UFC or maybe even in the regional scene. He's fought mainly strikers, maybe a couple like people that can wrestle, but no one like this. So I think once this fight gets to the mat, it might be game over shortly after that. So give me Blackshere round 2 or 3 sub. I think that's at like plus 390 on FanDuel.
Yep. I like it. Yeah, I mean, Blackshere, I think, gets his fight down to the ground at some point and kind of runs through him. Yeah, I mean, Alatang's not been finished in the UFC yet, but I mean, who's he fighting? Like Chris Gutierrez, like he's not finishing anybody.
Just strikers.
Chris Gutierrez couldn't finish Kwong Lee. How do you not finish Kwong Lee? Chris Gutierrez, and then Casey Kenny was also not able to finish Alatang, but Casey Kenny is a decision guy as well. Yep. So yeah, I think Damon Blackshere has a good chance to get him out of here. We'll see. Yeah, you do not want to miss Jocelyn Edwards. You absolutely do not want to miss Jocelyn Edwards. Blackshere by sub. Don't overthink, and I'm not overthinking. I just wish you were getting a little bit better price on the submission, but what can you do? They're kind of all over it. I'd rather tattoo Team Herzog across my forehead than ever play Blackshere at these odds. Jeez, that would be just an awful tattoo.
Yeah, my 600. It's not the greatest, but I think he wins.
I'd rather lay minus 600 than get a Herzog tattoo.
That's true. I would too. Yeah, I don't want Herzog anywhere on my, tattooed on my body.
Yeah. I mean, geez. I mean, I'd lay minus 1,000 before I get a Herzog tattoo. It's terrible. Blackshere fought terrible against a gym teacher in Gibson last time. Yeah, he started very slow in that fight. I was kind of worried ahead. Blackshere line and Blackshere sub, but
he looked minus 1,000 though.
He started to get going after round 2 started. We got Sean Strickland in the building, his therapist, looking handsome. Not Jandaroba handsome, but still, of course not. I mean, Jandaroba is one of the most handsome human beings out there. So don't even compare me.
She did the damn thing too
to Werner. We're not even on the same atmosphere. I mean, Werner's just so handsome. Blackshere by decision. Yeah, I mean, I think if this does go the distance, he should win just based off of activity, grappling. Johnny is a great guy. I would agree.
Thank you.
We got the Fight Foo saying Blackshere by KO plus 1,100 is the best play on this fight. So Alatang has been knocked out 3 times. Blackshere does have those knees. Some good ground and pound. We'll see. That's a big line. We got my guy Cody in the building. Good to see you, Cody. Let's cash. Let's do it, man. Let's cash some bets. Let's see. I remember when CLD hurt that bum in the 3rd round and saw Herzog and knew. So if you have an under or like a fight doesn't go decision or a knockout prop, etc., and you see Herzog, at the beginning of the fight, it's not hitting. That your violence prop is not hitting. If you have an over, a decision prop, and you see Herzog, you're licking your chops. You're like, yes, this fight's going over. Herzog's not stopping this fight unless somebody's literally
the doctor is.
Yes, unless somebody's like dead. So yeah, if you're that's why I wish we knew the ref. I wish we knew the refs. I wish we knew the judges. Because if I knew Herzog was reffing some of these fights, I would bet non-violence in them, right? So wish we knew. All right, let's see. Dude has one bad stoppage, and dudes act like there's a lot of Jason Herzog fans. A lot of people suck that guy's dick, but he's been very questionable lately. Very questionable lately.
There's a lot,
but
just the one recently was awful.
I would say he's one of the best. I guess.
Yeah. He just loves the overs.
I'd say he's one of the best for sure.
He's in the top 3 for me.
Yeah,
I play a lot of overs. So.
I would say so. All right, let's move on to the next fight, Johnny. It is Chris Gutierrez going against John Castanada. I'll kick this one off, and I will be using up my second pass here. It's one of those things where it's like I think Gutierrez probably wins, but I just never like betting on this guy. He's he's just not exciting, right? He had an opportunity to go out there. He's like minus 500 against Kwang Lee. And he goes out there and goes to a competitive decision. Like, it makes no sense. He's going out there and going to close fights with fighters he really shouldn't be. I think he's a really skilled fighter. Great leg kicks, but that's about it. Great leg kicks. And those leg kicks have won him many fights and probably wins him one here. So yeah, I'm picking Gutierrez, but I just don't want to lay any sort of juice on this guy at all. So Gutierrez is the pick, but I'll be using on my second pass. Johnny, what are you doing for this fight here?
For me, this fight was supposed to happen like once or twice, I think, and I remember breaking this fight down like at least once before. But I went with John Castaneda before. I'm still going to go with him again. It's leg kicks versus wrestling and pressure. So to me, if you like the leg kicks from Gutierrez, then you probably should pick him. If you don't, then pick the other side. I just don't know if he's going to be able to. This is just a weird fight. Let me just stop right there. I'm going to go with Castaneda by decision. I think this fight goes to decision 9 out of 10 times in this fight. The only thing maybe you can see is like Castaneda land like a crazy bomb and knock him out. But Gutierrez is pretty durable. He's got good cardio too. But so does Castaneda. Sometimes later on in the fights, Castaneda doesn't really push the pace that you want him to. So it might end up being a very close fight. But I'm going to go with Castaneda to win by decision at 240. I'm just going to take a stab at it. I think this fight goes to decision, but I'm just going to go with the wrestling of Castaneda and the pressure. Maybe he can get inside boxing range and not worry about the kicks too much, but he's going to have to eat a couple of leg kicks. I mean, it's a given. So but if you notice Castaneda limping a little bit in round 1, you might as well throw some money on Castaneda right away because he'll be winning that fight then.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this fight goes to decision at a high clip. Like, I could see like a split decision here. I'd kind of be interested to see what
I could see a split too, for sure.
The split decision. Like, do the judges favor the leg kicks? Do they favor maybe some grappling,
control time, cage clinching?
Yeah, I could see
some takedowns.
I could see a split decision. Don't have any interest in this fight though. No. So we'll see. All right, let's see here. All the refs get criticized. Mark Goddard is one of the best, but he gets it too. Yeah, I mean, they all get criticism, right? And even the judges do as well. And
yeah, I mean, they get a lot of heat. They never really get any praise. So
yeah, he's one of the best, but it's been a bit of a rough run for him for sure. I'd agree with that. I'd still say he's one of the best, absolutely. Mm-hmm. One bad stoppage. This guy fought when Herzog reffed and got brain damage. There's been some bad stoppages. There's been some very bad stoppages. Gamblestein wouldn't be surprised if Herzog was corrupt. He loves laughing at people losing their bets for his incompetence. Yeah, that's called getting Herzog. We talked about that earlier. Let's see. Castaneda by decision. Nasty agrees with you there.
There we go.
Goddard is one of the most corrupt. Goddard's had his sketchy moments, but I think Goddard's decent, right?
He's fine.
Another fight ends by split that I like. I would tend to agree. Tyone is pretty. I like Tyone just because he's a guy that is for fighter safety. Like Tyone, more often than not, will stop the fight and
Mark Smith though is a wild card.
Yeah,
you don't know what you're getting from him. You can get like he might stop it early, he might not stop it. He'll take a point like that. Just a straight up wild card.
Yeah. Brady's high on that top shelf weed. No,
Jay Weeds.
What's up, Jay Weeds? All right. I say we move on to the next fight. Is this the featured prelim or is the featured? Are they featuring?
It's Flick and Schnell is the featured prelim.
Okay, cool. So we'll do a couple more, then we'll do a recap and see we got everything right. We got Evan Elder, Gage Young. We got Evan Elder minus 200, Gage Young plus 170. I'll kick it to you, Johnny. What are you doing for this fight here?
So this is going to be in my swing for a grand slam play here. I'm going to go with Evan Elder to win by submission. And I saw that at plus 1100 somewhere. If you could find it a little bit better, I'll take that. But yeah, I like Evan Elder to win this fight, but Gage Young is pretty good. He just really hasn't fought the best competition. And I think Evan Elder is just a little bit better than Gage right now in their careers. And obviously the short notice for Gage too. But I think if Elder gets going with the wrestling and he can get the grappling going, I think he's a better grappler than Gage, and I think he can get a submission. I think Gage lost once, one of his 2 losses by sub. I think he's durable enough to stay in there. I think Elder's durable enough to stay in there so I don't think there's going to be a KO. But I'm just going to take a shot on the Elder by sub. I don't know why. I feel it, but 1100 looks good unless you can find it better.
Yeah, I see 1200.
I'll take it.
All right, Evan Elder by submission, 1200. For me, I will be using up my third pass. Going to have one left. Yeah, I think it's one of those fights where I think these two are actually, kind of well matched. I think Gage Young's actually a pretty good fighter and will have success in the UFC, but he is making this, very short notice. I know he's supposed to fight in like a week or two, but Evan Elder's been preparing to be on this card specifically. Evan Elder's already been there. Made his debut already. He's fought just a much better competition. Like Gage Young, his toughest opponent was Quinlan Salkhild, and he lost the fight, but he had some moments. Other than that, it's just a very questionable level of comp. And Evan Elder's looked good. I mean, even in some of his loss, like the Sadikov loss. I mean, Evan Elder
was winning until he didn't.
Oh, he looked really good in that fight. Cut stoppage. So, yeah, I like both guys. I'm leaning Elder, but I also think that Gage Young can kind of make this competitive, at least early. So I'll be using up my pass here. What do you think of that? The Steiny going with the Elder sub 3.
4,600 is not bad just to put $5 on. Why not?
Tyone also always touches people in weird way.
He does. He does. I've seen him do it a couple times.
Gee, I didn't know that.
I forgot about that until I just read it.
Dang, I didn't. Maybe I'll have to pay more attention. What I do remember is Chris Tyone going up to Matt Schnell after he got knocked out, and he was like, "Did you see that?"
Yeah, I remember.
You'll see it on film.
You'll see it on replay.
Gee, that was out.
I hope he's not reffing Schnell's fight tonight.
He might be, dude. He might be. I hope Herzog's not reffing the Schnell fight.
Well, that's true too. That thing's going over then.
Might have somebody end up in the hospital if Herzog's reffing that one. Let's see. Okay. We'll move on to the people's main event, Johnny.
Yep.
It is Matt Schnell going against Jimmy Flick. Very interesting line movement on this one. So when me and Weezy did our show on Sunday, Jimmy Flick, this dude was like plus 245. Plus 260 on some books, and come fight day, Jimmy Flick is sitting at plus 139, plus 135, plus 140. So a lot of monies came in on Jimmy Flick throughout the week. This is a wild fight. Like, this is probably 2 of the least durable flyweights on the current raw. I'm talking the current roster because Malcolm Gordon retired. I think Jimmy Flick actually retired Malcolm Gordon. Shannon Ross got cut. Terrence Mitchell, I think, is a bantamweight, right? Or who knows what the hell Terrence Mitchell is?
Mitchell, yeah, he's a body. Literally.
Either way, on the current roster, these are probably the two least durable guys, and they're matching them up here. So it's an interesting fight. Johnny, what are you doing for this fight here?
Oh man, this one's tough for me. I think Jimmy Flick just probably bet everything he had on himself, which is why the line went way down for Schnell. Because on paper, if you really look at this fight, like I think it's Matt Schnell. Like unless I'm crazy, I know Schnell has no chin, but Jimmy Flick has 0 KOs. He's a great grappler. Don't get me wrong, crazy submissions. But, Schnell's a pretty good grappler himself. Like, I know he's been sub 3 times, but a lot of those submissions have been clubbing subs too. He just doesn't have a chin, but I think he's okay here because Flick does not have power in his hands. He's not really a great striker. So I like Schnell to win this fight. What is Schnell by KO, the best that you can see?
Schnell by KO is plus 185.
I'll go with that. I'll go with Schnell by KO. I know he only has 2 KO wins in his career, but if he can't KO Jimmy Flick, who's been KO'd 6 times or 5 times in his career, someone's getting finished here. So I'm just gonna bet on it's Flick by getting KO'd.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jimmy Flick side. I mean, he has a path here. I think there's a reason money's coming in on him. Like, who's the more skilled mixed martial artist? It's Matt Schnell by a mile, but at the same time, Matt Schnell just retired and he's coming back to re-retire. Like, where's his head at? Where's his confidence at? Like, this guy got embarrassed. This guy got dunked on by Chris Tione. This guy got dunked on by. How you getting dunked on by that guy's 60 years old. Chris Tione. He's like 60 years old. Where's the confidence at for Matt Schnell? And yeah, Matt Schnell can't stuff a takedowns. I think his sub 50% takedown defense. Jimmy Flick probably gets takedowns. And the thing about Matt Schnell is offensively, like the grappling, he's dangerous. He has those triangles and a couple submission, a lot of submission wins for Matt Schnell. But defensively, it seems like anytime somebody attempts a sub, this dude's tapping instantly, double tap, 2 hands. So yeah, I think Jimmy Flick probably is a guy that's retired before, but a couple times, but probably the hungrier guy, the guy that wants to be here. And he has a path. So I'm going to take Jimmy Flick by submission. These Jimmy Flick props have got just destroyed throughout the week. The submission prop, I think now best price is plus 280. I'll take Jimmy Flick to win by submission. I think that's his most likely path here.
Yep.
And yeah, should be a fun fight.
Did you see the picture that Jimmy Flick posted recently?
No, what'd he say?
Okay. Well, it was a picture that he actually posted like a year ago, the same that he was training. So it's like, are you really training or are you just reposting pictures from a year ago, dude?
Oh,
so who knows if he's training or not? But it's Jimmy Flick though. You know what I mean? Like, is he training? We don't know. This is just a weird fight in general. I don't even know why it was made. Both these guys, like you said, they both retired. They're both back now, and they're both have no chin, and it's just this fight's not going over 1.5. Let's put it that way. Ain't no way.
Yeah, man. Well, the only way I could see it going over is like I could see Matt Schnell like
Herzog,
and I could see Matt Schnell just being like very hesitant. Like there's been some fights where Matt Schnell just kind of was very hesitant, kind of protecting that chin, like the Bontarine fight, kind of stuck on the outside for 15 minutes. Could pull maybe a Nate Maness here.
Yeah, that's true.
Just fight safe, but yeah, I mean, if Schnell and Flick they both show up and try to go at it, yeah, I mean, this fight should finish at a very high clip. Hence why we're getting a flyweight fight with the fight doesn't go anywhere from minus 350 to minus 450. There, we don't typically see that either. Jimmy the Dick Pick Flick. Oh, is that his nickname? I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know about that one either. It was.
Oh, geez. Flick's yeah, that's what I went with. Plus 280. I think that's his path. I don't think he's knocking out Matt Schnell. Maybe. I think it's sub though.
I mean, if he touches that chin, anything goes.
Yeah, anything does go.
It could be a club and sub though.
Tell him the brick sent you was so pathetic. Did he say that? Did Jimmy say that? I hope he didn't say that.
Oof.
Did he win a fight and say, tell him the brick sent you? I think he might have. Is that against Malcolm Gordon? Oh, geez. I don't know about that.
How do you feel about your pick now? No, I'm joking.
Schnell he got dunked on, dude. I mean, you don't typically see a referee dunking on a fighter, but that's the one instance.
I mean, he took the opportunity and it was gold.
Blown away by this line movement. Never thought I'd see the Flick side get this much love. Yeah, me either. Me either, to be honest. I mean, I think
I'm
might
telling
know.
you, Wheezy, I really think he threw all of his money on himself. He's just betting on himself, his show money, whatever it is.
I think Matt Schnell might have put money on this. Matt
true,
Schnell
too.
probably bet Jimmy Flick round 1 sub, run off into the sunset, get yourself a nice.
Boom.
It's kind of like a steakhouse bet. I mean, is Matt Schnell a fan of steak? If Matt Schnell's a fan of steak, you could have put some money on that Flick sub 1 specifically. Flick's been training as a marker.
He probably has.
Oh, I'm not sure how anyone has any confidence. I'm not sure anyone has any confidence on either. You really can't. You really can't.
You're just flipping a coin at this point, which is probably why maybe people are like, you know what? I'll get plus money on Flick. Why not? It's a coin flip fight.
If Schnell put money on Flick, then Flick is a side. That's true. We could see maybe like a James Krause situation here. I don't know. But yeah, if you're Schnell, why not? Why not?
Why not? Indeed.
Get a nice.
Maybe you know what? Not even sub. Just do KO.
Oh,
Jimmy Flick KO. What's the prop on that?
KO one. I'm assuming it's a pretty big number. So the KO in general is plus 1,500 for Flick by KO.
That's the play, guys.
But
that's the play.
KO one is plus 3,000.
That's the play.
I mean, Schnell
throw a little bit on there.
Schnell can buy a house, put in a big bet on that one. Maybe Schnell could potentially buy new property, or there's a lot of opportunities for Matt Schnell here. All right, let's see. So those were the featured prelims. Johnny, let's do a quick recap of these prelim bets, and I'll kick us off here. I'm taking a pass on the Edwards fight. I'm taking Roberto Romero by decision plus 270, Amarim by KO plus 650, Wellmaker KO plus 350, Blackshere ITD plus 130, passing on the Gutierrez and Elder fights. I'm taking Jimmy Flick by sub plus 280. Johnny, you are passing on the first 2 fights of the night. You're taking Amarim round 1 plus 145, Malcolm Wellmaker KO or decision plus 100, Tamon Blackshere sub 2-3 plus 390, Castanada by decision plus 240, Elder by sub plus 1,200, and then Matt Schnell by KO plus 185. Does all that look correct thus far?
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good. We're going to move into the main card now. Before we do so, if you guys could pipe up that like button, milk the subscribe button. We go live every Saturday for some best bet, always on time, never late. Seriously, we're actually on time today, which was very nice. Okay. Moving on to the main card opener, it is none other than Ikram Aliskerov going against Andre Muniz. We got Aliskerov minus 400. We got Andre Muniz sitting as a plus 300 underdog. Johnny, I'll kick it to you for this one. What are you doing for this fight?
Yeah, I there was once a great time a long time ago where I thought Muniz might actually be something good. Maybe he can go for the belt. Maybe a dark horse for the division. Yeah, he's not that guy. I think Ikram's better. He's a way better striker for sure. I think he can keep the fight on the feet. He's got good wrestling. But I do like the Ikram KO in round 1 or 2 on FanDuel. I think that's minus 105 at the moment. I'll take that. Yeah, you're going to see this fight play on the feet, and Muniz is not a good striker at all. And I think Ikram will just keep pushing the pace, back him up, and eventually find the shot of it. I don't know if this will be a first round one or a second, but I'm just going to take one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning the same way. I'm going to attack it a slightly different. I'm just going to take the Aliskerov Muniz under 1.5 at plus 100. Gives Aliskerov 7.5 minutes to get Muniz out of there. And I think if Muniz is winning, it's probably him catching Aliskerov, something early when they're both fresh, when they're both dry on the mat. So yeah, under 1.5 for me. Covers probably both sides, but I also like that KO 1-2 call. I think that's a solid look as well. So we're kind of on the same wavelength for that one. I think it's a great matchup for Ikram. I think it's a really tough matchup for Muniz. I think there's a reason this is the 50th time it's booked. I feel like Muniz is just trying to get out of this fight because why would he want to fight Ikram? It's a tough matchup. Is he going to be able to take Ikram down? I doubt it. Is he going to be able to strike with Ikram? I doubt it. So, yeah, I think Ikram KOs the most likely scenario in this one here.
The UFC is giving Ikram a little bit of a layup here after taking that Whitaker fight. And then getting knocked out as badly as he did.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen guys take big steps up and get embarrassed, and then we've seen guys take
Huge step up.
a step back down and have some success. Like it was Shamil Gaziv. Remember, Shamil Gaziv took a big step up into a main event slot, got embarrassed by Rosenstruck, and then he takes a step back down and fights Dontel Mays and Thomas Peterson, and he looks very good. So yeah, I think he's taken a step back down in competition, which is good. Muniz gives up a lot of inside the gives up. Yeah, Muniz gives up inside the distance a lock. Yeah, both these guys, the durability is kind of an issue. 8 losses combined, 8 losses inside the distance for both. Muniz finished in all of his losses, I believe 5 by knockout, 1 by submission. What's up, Ver? Good to see you in here. Jimmy the Dick Flick wins. What's the draw? I think you're talking about the Flick Schnell. Yeah, we could see a draw. Maybe neither guy is good enough to win the fight. Could see a draw in the Flick Schnell fight potentially. Plus 60.
Herzog is definitely repping that fight then.
Yeah, I mean, if Herzog's repping, anything goes. But yeah, we'll move on to this next fight. Johnny, it is Randy Brown going against Nicholas Dalby. And I will be using up my 4th and final pass here. For me, it's I like Randy Brown. This line has been taking a lot of steam throughout the week. Like he was minus 190, I think, last week. Now he's minus 310, so he's in a bunch of parlays and all that. I think it's Randy Brown. Randy Brown probably by decision for me. You know, Dalby, this guy's super tough, great chin, great durability. Randy Brown, I think it's just going to be, the younger guy, longer, lengthier. He's not going to slow down like some of Dalby's past performances. Big cage. Probably favors Brown here as well. I like Brown by decision, but I do think this line is a tad wide for my liking. So I'll be passing on this one, but I think Brown gets it done and by decision. Johnny, what are your thoughts for this fight? And you like anything here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brown by decision. If you can find the best one for that. I saw it around plus 100, but I'm not sure.
110.
I'll take that one. He's going to be the longer fighter, like you said. He's the younger fighter. I think he's going to be able to keep it on the outside. I think his grappling, his grappling's not bad. Dalby, he's 40 years old now. Like, he really banks on that durability and pressure and pace. So round 3 I will be sweating a little bit if it makes it there, which it probably will. So I do like the overs, but. Yeah, I got to go Randy Brown. I think he just does enough. He lands more shots on the feet. He's got good knees, good elbows if he does get close in the clinch like that. So Randy Brown by decision will be my play.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely scenario is that Brown decision, but not something I'm running to the window for. So I used up my 4th and final pass. Johnny, I believe you have...
I got 2 more.
You have 2 more. There you go.
There's a couple more fights. I'm like, ooh.
2 more passes. Heck yeah. Very close fight, in my opinion. I do think Dalby can make it competitive. Dalby's not a guy that's going to go out there and shit the bed more often than not. How old is Dalby now? He's 39.
40. I thought he's 40. I thought he just turned 40.
Right, he is 40. Jeez. Dalby by decision. Someone said Dalby got KO'd during sparring, and that's why he pulled out of his last fight. Maybe that's why the line's taking a lot of steam. I
didn't know that.
I didn't hear about that either, but. Maybe that's like a big narrative. Sometimes these narratives go around and push the lines. I don't know. Dalby can cook him, but will he? I don't know. Maybe.
I think Brown's cardio is pretty good.
It's not bad.
That's something I don't worry about Brown is his cardio.
Yeah, Same. Brady and Johnny, what's up, Dix? We got the moderator, Dix Insider in the building. Brady and Johnny's got work. What did I miss? A good amount, dude. Like the show's
a lot of Jason Herzog talk.
Show's almost over. Milkings, pipings, peggings.
Yeah,
for some reason, you missed a lot, dude.
Herzogged.
Yeah. Johnny's gonna get Herzog tonight.
I am going to tonight if he's repping. That's my goal. So follow me on Twitter if you want to see if he's fighting.
Not fun, but to each their own. We all have different versions of.
But he's gonna have to mess up. I'm not gonna just try to troll him. Like that's not fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna have to be for a good reason.
No, I agree. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is Michel Pereira going against Abus Magomedov. We got Michel Pereira minus 135, Magomedov plus 115. Johnny, we'll start with you. What are you liking for this fight here?
So yeah, early in the week, I wasn't as confident as I am now again. I'm going to go with Pereira to win. But for my bet on this one, I'm debating if I want to take a crazy long shot or if I just want to be a little safe. Let me, because he's next. Okay. I'm gonna be a little safe on this one. Give me Pereira inside the distance at plus 145. I want to do Pereira by sub at like plus 800 or so. I have this weird feeling he's gonna find it when Magomedov tries to wrestle, and he's gonna leave his neck out there and he's gonna get choked or guillotined or something like that. But I do like Pereira though. I think his striking's gonna be a little bit quicker, a little faster. I like his footwork outside, bigger cage. It's gonna help him out a lot. But I think a lot of people are maybe looking back at that Fluffy fight and saying, "Oh, Pereira, he can't go." He gasses out a little bit, but Fluffy's a different beast. Like Abus slows down as well after round one and a half. So it's going to be a fun fight. I can see Abus getting a KO too, but I'm going to go with Pereira to find it, whether it's by KO or sub at plus 145. But if you find it different anywhere better, I'll take that.
Yeah, it's plus 170 on Hard Rock.
Hard Rock has good props. Shit.
Yeah, maybe check.
I got Hard Rock. I should look at that.
Check him out, dude. Yeah, plus 170 for Pereira inside the distance. I'm going with the same thing. Pereira inside the distance, plus 170. I agree 100% with your breakdown. I don't know. I think Abus, I don't like the cardio, and people will say Pereira's cardio sucks. It does, but Abus's cardio is so much worse. Like I had a bet on Abus in the Pereira fight, and it's like nothing happened in the first round. It was the slowest pace you'll ever see. Pereira literally didn't do anything. I think he landed 2 strikes. And then the second round starts, you look up at Abus, and this guy's mouth's wide open. He looks exhausted in the beginning of the second round. Luckily for him, Pereira was even more exhausted and gassed out even worse. But, Pereira lasted almost 5 rounds with Fluffy. I mean, I think Fluffy would finish Abus in about a round and a half. So, yeah, I don't take too much into that Fluffy loss. I think that Pereira at some point does find the chin, or like you said, or the neck of Abus here. I think at some point he's going to make a mistake. And Pereira at middleweights looked incredible outside of the Fluffy fight. But again, Fluffy would do just much. I mean, that fight wouldn't be sanctioned. The Fluffy versus like they wouldn't sanction that fight.
Fluffy would be minus 500.
It would be just a horrible matchup because you have one guy with one of the best cardios in the UFC, and then you have Abus with one of the worst. So, yeah, I think it's a good spot for Pereira. The line's a little weird to me. Like I feel like Pereira should be a much bigger favorite, but maybe people are thinking Abus can take him down and control him. I just don't really think that's too likely. So yeah, give me a Pereira, same thing, Pereira inside the distance. Let's see. I'm gonna Herzog the bong tonight, aka not stopping until I'm dead. You be careful, man. Be careful, dude.
Well, luckily, I don't think you can die from that, unless I'm mistaken.
We've seen crazy.
Unless you do something stupid, maybe.
Yeah. Michelle, round 1.
I like that.
This is a good matchup. Shout out to the matchmaker. It's a really good matchup. Really good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
What is Johnny Wahlberg drinking? Keep seeing a can, but not sure if it's a beer.
Yeah, if you know me, Miller Lite, I want to get sponsored by them one of these days. So hopefully they see me. And but yeah, Miller Lite 99% of the time, or whiskey.
There you go. Abus only wins if his name is Tristan Connolly. I'll never forget that Tristan Connolly fight. Bantamweight Tristan Connolly beat Michelle Pereira. Pereira had a full-out dance routine before the fight, gassed out before the fight even started. He was walking up to get in the cage and just completely death-gassed and lost to bantamweight Tristan Connolly. You never forget it.
Yeah, and then he also got KO'd by Dushko Tavorovich as well, but on the regionals.
Yeah, that is true.
It's not a great look nowadays if you're thinking about it. You're like, ooh.
Favorite dog on DK? I'd say probably Jimmy Flick. He's very cheap, 7K, but I do think he's going to be really popular with the line movement there. I Herzogged my wife last week. She hasn't walked straight since. Okay, so let's move on to the. Should we get your wife some help? I mean, that sounds. Is she okay? But we'll move on to the next fight. Let's move on. We got David Onama going against Giga Chikadze. We got David Onama minus 200. Giga Chikadze plus 170. Johnny, you have 2 passes left. There are 3 fights left. Are you using up one of your passes here?
Yes, I'm going to be using a pass in this one. I do think this fight's another coin flip. I do see some late money coming in on Onama. I did pick him as well. I just think he can push the pace. He can get inside kicking range. That's Giga's best weapon, obviously. But both guys are super durable, even though Onama has been rocked a couple times as of late. But Giga slows down as the fight goes on, and I think Onama, if obviously he's never been finished, which is a little bit crazy, but he's been rocked a few times. But if he cannot either get rocked or finished in rounds 1 or 2, I think he's okay for round 3. So I think he wins by decision, but I'm just not 100% sold because I really wanted to pick Giga in this fight early on, and then I watched some tape and I'm like, I gotta go with Onama. So pick is Onama, but I'm just gonna pass on this one.
Yeah, this is a weird one, especially after the weigh-ins. Like my read before the weigh-ins was like, I like Onama, the younger guy. Giga, we haven't seen him fight in a while. He's been very inactive these last several years, and I've never trusted the cardio of Giga, and I've never trusted the ground game. I've always been waiting for somebody to expose that ground game, and nobody has because he's just fought all strikers. Even like, but Calvin Kattar was taking this guy down, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like Onama, if he mixes it up here, I think he can make this fight a lot easier on himself. And then the weigh-ins happen, and it's like Giga looked a little rough. He's 36 years old now, and apparently he's been dealing with like some really bad injuries. He missed weight for the first time in his career. Looked rough on the scale. Was shaking uncontrollably. I'm kind of worried about Giga. If he's any way compromised in this fight, that could be a serious problem. I'm going to take the fight doesn't go plus 120. Like you said, Onama gets dropped in every fight. He gets either dropped or wobbled in every single fight. He's recoverability is good, but Giga does still hit and kick very hard. I could see Giga potentially landing on the chin of Onama. And on the flip side, dude, I think if Onama gets on top of Giga and Giga's tired, and I think Onama can sub him. I think Onama can do what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for it for years, for somebody to take down Giga, expose his ground game, and sub him. I've been waiting for it ever since the Austin Springer fight, where Austin Springer looked like Khabib Nurmagomedov against Giga, but nobody's tried. So I'm hoping Onama fights smart, grapples. If he does that, I think the sub or TKO's live. But give me the fight doesn't go plus 120, especially after seeing a questionable Giga weigh. He definitely looked the worst out of everybody, I thought, at the weigh-ins.
I like him.
What do you guys like for this fight here? Probably one of my favorite fights at the card. I mean, this fight's going to be a banger. I mean, Onama always brings it, and I think Giga is going to oblige. Giga may be washed after Calvin later shaved his ass and milked him. Yeah, that was a milking if I've ever seen one. Milked him dry. Giga is washed. He's definitely on a decline. I mean, this is not the same Giga that we saw, in the COVID days when this dude fought like 5 times in 1 year. Looked incredible. It's not the same Giga.
Yeah.
Giga missed weight, been training with Cub Swanson too, which is cool considering he has a win over Cub. That is cool. But a late camp switch at this point of his career, I'm not sure. 36 years old, I don't know. All right. Was he shaking for real, or was he faking it like Eileen Perez? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe Giga was trying to promote his new OnlyFans. I know Dixon's a big fan of OnlyFans. Dixon, would you subscribe to Giga Chikadze's OnlyFans? Instead of showing dicks, he'd be showing kicks on there. No. What do you guys think? You guys want to see Giga Chikadze's kicks?
Nah, I'll save my money.
I mean, some people might want to see his dicks. I don't know, but no judgment here. But yeah, very good kicks. Giga has very good kicks. We know that by now. Onama should win if he wrestles. Oh, I think not only does he win,
even if he tries, I think he's fine.
Yeah, I think if he wrestles, I think he makes it look pretty easy. But Onama's one of those guys that doesn't mind going out there and swinging dicks, right? So
another thing too, like Giga just seems to get hurt in a lot of his fights.
Yeah,
and then later afterwards, you hear that he's injured, and then he has to rest up for like a year before he fights again. So it's like, it's hard to pick him, even though you want to, but you're like, but man. So that's why I went with Onama. I mean, it's tough.
Yep, should be a good one. We'll move on in the co-main event, Johnny. We have Zhang Mingyang going against Anthony Smith. We got Zhang minus 370, Anthony Smith sitting as a plus 295 underdog. This fight is fascinating because if this was the Anthony Smith of even last year, year and a half ago, I mean, he should probably beat this guy. I mean, this is an astronomical step down in competition for Smith. Zhang Mingyang, just a complete unknown. I mean, this guy has never won a fight that's went to the second round. We don't know what his ground game looks like. He's been finished by complete bums. This is a fight that I feel like they're trying to give Anthony Smith a chance here. They're not giving him like a top 15 or anywhere near top 15 guy. But at the same time, I kind of feel like Anthony Smith maybe, or not maybe. I think Anthony Smith is on his way out. With that said, I think the most likely scenario is a Zhang Mingyang KO1. But I also think if Anthony Smith wins this fight, Anthony Smith by submission is plus 1,100. I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, and he has an opportunity here. Like, if this fight hits the ground, like, I'm pretty confident he's just a much better grappler than Zhang Mingyang. And if this fight hits round 2, it heavily favors Anthony Smith. So, like I said, KO1 for Zhang is the most likely outcome, but Anthony Smith by submission plus 1,100. It's a big number, and I think that's his money line. Like, I don't think he's winning a decision here. He's not really knocking many guys out. You look at a lot of his last couple wins, it's a lot of submissions, submission win against Ryan Spann, submission win against Vitor Petrino, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll go Anthony Smith by submission, my biggest play in terms of the odds of the show here. Johnny, you have 2 passes left. Are you passing on this fight, or are you taking a shot on something here?
I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to go a little bit against the grain. I'm going to say this fight ends in round 2. I think it hits round 2 for some weird reason. I don't know if Zhang is going to win though, but that's probably going to be, more so on the Smith side to win. But I found it at plus 360. I don't know if you can find it a little bit better anywhere else. But yeah, I just think Zhang's going to try. I mean, Anthony Smith hasn't been finished in the first round since I think it was 2013, something crazy, like over 10 years. So when he gets finished, it's later in the fights. And I know Ming Yang tries to go for it. I think most of his wins or all of his wins have been in the first round, which they all have been. I think he tries, but I just think Smith survives. It's his last ride. And, maybe we see something crazy. Maybe we see, Smith survived. Maybe Jason Herzog is revving this fight.
No, they won't let Herzog in there. I mean, they made sure to keep Herzog away from this one.
Yeah, but I just feel like everyone is on Zhang KO round 1, which I totally get because he's won or at least round 1 in every one of his fights. But I think Smith is actually he's tough. It's his last fight. I don't think he's gonna quit in the first round, anyways. But unless he gets really rocked in, obviously. But give me this fight that ends in round 2, one way or another, plus 360. And like I said, unless you found it somewhere else better.
Yeah, that's a good line, dude. I don't mind that. Like you said, Anthony Smith, he does. It's why it's a weird fight. Anthony Smith doesn't get finished in the first round. Zhang Mingyang doesn't win fights outside of the first round.
Yes.
So it's a very weird fight in that sense. But yeah, maybe Anthony Smith can. He's gonna. You know what he's gonna do, right? He's gonna eat a big shot. He's gonna fall down. He's gonna turtle up. He's gonna cover up, and he's gonna do just enough for the ref to not stop the fight. And the ref will eventually stop the fight. When will it be? I don't know. All depends probably who's reffing. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. It's a big number, and I can definitely see it. Let's see. Anthony Smith pre-home invasion. Yeah, Anthony Smith pre-home invasion would destroy this guy, dude. I mean, if Anthony
didn't he almost lose to that guy though?
Who? Oh no! I don't know about that. Maybe
it was almost lost to him.
Maybe it was Young that invaded his home. Maybe
okay.
I don't know. But
now, what if Anthony Smith is talking to him in round 1? I know he probably won't know what he's saying, but maybe he's like, "What are you talking about?" It might confuse him a little bit, and it goes into round 2.
Yeah, I don't think Zhang Mingyang is that great at English, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Cardio Smith is the worst. Taking Zhang late. Yeah, maybe like a Zhang round 2.
That could be a good look.
And Zhang lost to Askar Mozharov. Anything possible with this guy? Play this safe. No parlay. Yeah, if you're losing to Askar Mozharov, something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. Zach saying I've got 3 units on Smith at plus 350. Plus 350 and
right,
feeling good.
Good luck.
To be honest. Best of luck, dude. It'd be a massive hit if you can go out there and get one more.
He was able to do it to Petrino. We were all on Petrino, most of us anyways. So
yeah. Yeah, we'll see. All right, main event time. It is Ian Garry going against Carlos Proches. We got Ian Garry minus 170, Carlos Proches plus 145. Honestly surprised that this much money is coming in on Ian Garry, because there is a ton of hype on Carlos Proches, a ton of hype on these fighting nerds, right? Anytime we get the fighting nerds fighting, we get the fighting nerds tax, right? We saw it in just every fight, like the lines are blown out, but it's kind of going the other way here, which is very interesting, and I get it, to a sense, but like. I would not be laying minus 170 against Carlos Proches here personally. Johnny, I'll let you kick it off. So you have to pass on the main event, but do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I gotta use my pass. This is a very tough fight for me. My pick is Garry, actually. I think this is what I go back to from the last card. Everybody and their mothers were probably on Diego Lopez because he's crazy, he's a finisher, he has that knockout power, all this and that. And then Volka's the kind of guy that's like he's established in the UFC. He's been a champion before, even though he got rocked in that fight once. But I kind of see the same thing here because Gary's been rocked a couple times. He showed good recoverability, which is great. You want to see that in this fight, but he can scoot around the outside too, and he can draw this or make this fight a longer fight. I don't think his striking defense is terribly bad. He can grapple as well if he gets hurt or anything like that. But to me, like the longer the fight goes, it's Gary's fight to win, and I think Prates needs a round 1 or 2 KO. Prates hasn't seen a round 3 in like almost 6 years too. So 5-round fight, fighting nerds are on a roll. I get it, but I mean, there's going to come a time where one of these guys loses, right? And this is kind of a step up for Prates. And Gary's fought Shavkat, who's very dangerous, who's never went to decision as well until that fight. I don't blame anybody picking anybody on this one, but I'm just going to go with Garry, but that's why I'm using my pass, because I could see Prates getting a KO in round 1. So we've seen Garry get rocked. I think it was in the first round against Song, and I think it was maybe the second round against Jordan Williams, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember which one, but those are the 2 ones. But just going to lean Garry to win, either like a late finished or decision. Maybe you can look at round 4 or 5 decision prop for Garry. But I don't think he wins early at all. That's Prates 1, 2, 3 KO. So those will be the 2 plays that I would like in this fight, but I'm just going to pass.
Yeah, I mean, you can make strong arguments for both guys. I get why people are on Garry. Like, this is a guy he's an elite fighter. Simple as that. Elite fighter. He's fought great competition. He has that 5-round experience. Just went 5 rounds with Shavkat, Rakhmonov. A guy that is very dangerous. And yeah, potential grappling upside here. Potential grappling upside maybe. So yeah, I get why people would be on Garry. I'm going Proches though, and I will be taking the KO 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
It's, plus 290. Plus 290 for that KO 1, 2, 3. I think that's how he wins. Garry, the one knock I've had on Garry since he made his debut, and ever since then, and it's only been one knock because everything else I like a lot. Yep. But the one knock is the striking defense. Very, very suspect. This guy's getting hit clean, and nobody's really been able to take advantage of that. Like you said, Jordan Williams was touching him up, busting him up. Song Kanan dropped him, and even Jeff Neal landed some big shots. But, Proches, I just feel like this guy has just real power. When Proches is it looks like he's barely touching guys, and they're dying in there. So
that's true.
25 minutes to work with. I feel like Proches has a good chance to touch his chin, but if not, yeah, I could definitely see Garry like winning a decision here, just making the fight very very boring. Trying to just fight smart, fight safe. Get the fight in the clinch, get the fight to the ground, and I could definitely see Garry doing that and just using his complete skill set to win the fight. I get it, but Proches I think is very live to touch the chin of Ian Garry there. But yeah, great main event. I can't wait to see how this one plays out. I'll be taking the KO 1, 2, 3 plus 290, and Johnny will be passing there. What are you guys liking for this fight here? And then we'll get to the recap and give our best bet for the card. The Mountain Tiger by KO. Is that Zhang Mingyang's nickname, right?
I think it is, actually. I was thinking about that when I read that. I was like, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is too.
It is, yeah. I just looked it up.
If
He's
Herzog,
26 years old. Wow.
yeah, all those guys, dude, and China, they're very young. They started like at 10 years
That's
old. Started
suspect.
fighting at like
He
9
looks
years
like
old.
he's 35 years old.
Agreed. Agreed. He does.
Very suspect.
Some of these guys lie. Like we'll see Azamat Mirzakhana fight in a couple weeks. Like that guy's 70.
He's got to be.
Says he's 35. We see Muslim Salikov.
Yeah, I was just gonna say his name. Yep.
He's 40 years old. This guy Muslim
He's
Salikov,
57.
double it. This guy is 114
years old.
Muslim Salikov is the second oldest fighter in the UFC, right behind Sergey Spivak, who's of course a vampire and is thousands of years old. Sergey Spivak is over 1,000 years old, and they're still letting the guy fight. I love it. But, Garry by boredom, I could definitely see that.
That's how he wins. Yeah,
that is how he made a Shavkat Rachmanov fight pretty boring for like 4.5 rounds. So
he did.
Gamble Stein getting the 3 units on Garry, got him minus 130. He's minus 170 now. So
I was really hoping a late money would come in on Proches, but it's the opposite, which is weird. I might have would have took a stab at Garry at plus money, but I never saw it. Not even close. Like minus 130 is the best I probably saw.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting this much love for the Garry side, all things considered. Proches plus 5.5, minus 135.
I don't mind
love
that.
this. Salikov is ancient. Yeah, the dude is over 100 years old easily. It's not good. All right, Johnny, let's see. We're gonna go and let's recap this main card, these main card bets here, and then we'll give our best bet for the card. If you hit the best bet, your profit is going to double. So say, for example, your best bet is, I don't know, maybe your best bet is Blackshere sub 2-3 plus 390. And instead of getting 3.9, you'll get what?
You literally pick every one. Every time you pick it.
That's my thing. I do that. I do that. But yeah, so main card, I will be opening it up with Muniz Aliskerov under 1.5 plus 100, passing on the Brown fight. Taking Michelle Pereira inside the distance plus 170. Onama Chikadze fight doesn't go plus 120. Smith sub plus 1100. Proches KO 1-2-3 plus 290. And I don't know for the best bet. I'm just gonna go. Really, I would say it's between two. Really, it's between two. I think Michelle Pereira inside the distance is solid, but I'm gonna go with Carlos Proches KO 1-2-3. I think that's his path. I think he'll have opportunities. I think he'll land big shots, and we'll see if Ian Garry can stay conscious. Johnny, you are taking Aliskerov KO 1-2 to kick off the main card. Rainey Brown by decision plus 110. Michelle Pereira inside the distance plus 170. Onama pass. Garry fight pass. Jang fight ends in the second round plus 360. Does all that look correct? And if so, what is your best bet for UFC Kansas City?
Yeah, all that's good. I'm gonna go with Blackshere sub 2-3. That was the one I was literally gonna do. It hit last time that I was on the show. I did the same exact bet, so I'm gonna do it again. And I didn't do the best bet for that one, so I messed up. So I'm not making the same mistake twice.
Good. It's good to learn from our mistakes, and yeah. That's the win. 7.8 units if Blackshere goes out there and submits Alateng Haley in the second or third round. All right, guys. We did it. Thank you so much for watching. Had a great crowd today. Solid card. Looking forward to it. Going to kick it to my guy, Johnny. Johnny, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. As always, you can find me at Johnny K Picks on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support there as well. It's at Johnny K Picks. I'm also on my Patreon. I am doing a UFC Survivor pool starting this card. So you literally have like 40 minutes to sign up if you would like to. All you have to do is become a member, whether it's free or if you want to support, that's cool too. Like if you want to just play a Survivor pool for UFC, definitely join up, and then you can just post like what 3 fighters you want and you're good to go. Read the rules, obviously. But also Wednesday nights, Defend Your Units. I have a special guest on each and every week. I'm going to have you on, Brady, here shortly. And yeah, I put out my videos for each card on Sundays. So definitely follow me.
There you go. Shout out to Johnny. Thank you for coming on, Johnny. Best of luck to you today, and best of luck to the chat. Enjoy the card, guys. Enjoy the fights, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow for Stat Diggers with Uncle Weezy. We're going to be breaking down UFC Des Moines.
I think it's either Des Moines or Iowa.
Either way.
One of those.
Either way. Should be intriguing. I got the return of Juliana Killer Miller. That should be Should be fun. But all right,
Start it
guys,
up.
enjoy the fights. We'll talk soon. See you later.
Good luck, guys.